Governor-elect Scott Walker today officially asked the federal government to convert money that was set aside for high-speed rail in Wisconsin to be used for highway projects instead.
In a letter to Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood, Walker says, quote, "I believe it is a grave mistake for the federal government to insist on building an unwanted passenger rail system at a time when our roads and bridges are literally crumbling. Rail projects such as the one proposed in Wisconsin are notorious for inefficiency and cost overruns. For us to now go backwards on transportation makes little sense." During a visit to Dane Manufacturing this morning, Walker says he's gaining support nationally.
Across the country, there is an abundant need when it comes to fixing roads and bridges as part of the federal interstate system. To me, before they start pouring money into any rail line, between Madison, Milwaukee, or anywhere across the country, the federal government should be putting a higher priority on those roads and bridges, and that's a case we're going to make to the Secretary.
And it's a story that's going to continue to provide drama for the new Walker administration before he takes office on January 3rd.
Jeff Mayers of WisPolitics.com is with us tonight with some perspective on what's happened and how this may play out. Welcome back. You were here a week ago tonight.
Just keeps on happening.
Yeah, there's never a dull moment in Wisconsin politics. Well, Jeff, why did Governor Doyle do this? Why did he put this on pause, as he said, instead of letting the incoming administration deal with the rail?
Well, you know, the election results are clear, right? It's all Republican State House. And I think what the Doyle administration and the governor's trying to do is say, okay, if you really want to do it, here you go. It's all on you now. And here are the ramifications of it. We think it's a negative call, but now it's your call. Go ahead.
And Walker is rolling the dice here, thinking that the federal government is going to switch that money to let him use it on roads and bridges.
Right. It's one thing to stop the building of the train. It's another thing to take $810 million of targeted money for a high-speed rail system in Wisconsin and say, well, let's just use it for roads. You know, this has to be done in Washington. The Republicans control the House. They don't control the U.S. Senate, and they don't control the White House. And I don't think Democrats are going to want to hand a Walker or other governors, Republican governors who were just elected, a victory like this. Now, you know, could something happen? Could there be a compromise? You remember the president doesn't have line item veto power, so could it end up in some bill that has to pass? Maybe, but it's a tough thing to do.
Well, if they don't reach a compromise, who gets blamed? Governor Doyle or Governor-elect Walker?
Well, I think, you know, you have to look at it this way. This is probably the promise that most people understand that Walker made. If you have to ask people, this is what they're going to remember. So in his mind and in his supporters' minds, he has to deliver on this. So even if it costs some jobs or costs some money, he's going to argue that over the long term that going to cost a whole heck of a lot more. So, I mean, it really is his first political test. It's his biggest promise. You know, for his base, he's got to deliver. And Democrats will say, well, you know, these are the ramifications. They're negative, and, you know, it's his fault.
Could he backpedal and say, okay, the feds say we got to use this money for a train, so okay, that's better than nothing? I
think he's beyond that. He's said it so many times in so many venues in so many ways. He said he's not coming back, and I just don't see him doing it. It would be a sign of weakness, and it would infuriate his base.
It's going to be interesting, that's for sure.
We'll just set up a desk for you in the newsroom. We follow this story.
Yeah, every week.
Check back. All right, Jeff. Thanks very much.
Jeff. Good to see you.